Public consultation on voluntary health insurance extended. Parents accused of putting 7-year-old in the boot of a car. And deadly cyclone rips through the Pacific island nation of Vanuatu.
Good evening. The government has extended the public consultation on voluntary health insurance by 1 month. Secretary for Food and Health, Ko Man, says he wants to give the public more time to discuss the new suggestions made by the insurance industry. The consultation exercise was supposed to end on Monday, but the health chief said today the topic has turned out to be rather complicated, so he extended the consultation until April 16th. Ko Man said surveys have shown that members of the public still don't really understand the voluntary health insurance scheme. He added that the insurance sector has just made some suggestions he believes are useful, and he wants to allow more time for discussion. The government's proposed insurance scheme aims to ease the pressure on the public healthcare system by offering people an affordable means to private healthcare. It's set 12 minimum requirements the insurance industry must comply with, including the guaranteed acceptance of clients and coverage of pre-existing conditions. But the sector believes flexibility is key to attracting people to sign up.
We should allow the citizens of Hong Kong to make a choice between they can have a product that fully fulfill the 12 requirements, but also they should be allowed to be able to make a choice that the insurance company may not cover the existing condition so that the cost can be lower.
Chan cited a case of a man suffering lower back pain. Insurance covering that condition cost him $21,000. But if he could choose a plan that excluded the pre-existing condition, the premium would just be $7,000. Chan is also concerned about the scheme including too many high-risk people. He hopes the young and healthy would understand the importance of them signing up too.
The young people, they'll get older. Eventually, right? The healthy people would get unhealthy eventually. So this is sort of a risk-sharing system where each generation will support the other generation. Without the participation of low-risk people, that is the young people, that's the healthy people, it'll be too expensive for all participants to even joining this scheme.
He stressed that the industry's proposed option will still meet at least 6 of the government's 12 requirements, such as the guaranteed renewal of contract, so it would still be a safe option for people.
The parents of a 7-year-old boy who were arrested last night on suspicion of child abuse have been released on bail. As Evelyn Leung reports, they reportedly put their child into the boot of their car to punish him.
Police stopped the car on Pek Wan Road and arrested a 57-year-old man inside the vehicle. The arrest was in connection with a suspected case of child abuse. At around 9 o'clock last night, witnesses claimed to see a man and a woman put a boy into the boot of their car outside Domain Mall in Yau Tong before driving off. Police were notified and found the boy in the lift lobby of Kwon Hin House in nearby Kwon Tin Estate. They arrested the boy's mother, who was with him at the time. The boy had no visible wounds, but was sent to United Christian Hospital for a checkup. Officers then found the car outside Hong Pat Court on Pek Wan Road. The pair are a married couple. They're believed to have put the boy in their car boot as punishment for being naughty. The couple have been released on bail and have to report to the police at the end of the month. Evelyn Leung, TVB News.
Police will be on high alert during the open day at Government House tomorrow. There have been concerns that anti-parallel trading protesters could be causing chaos there. Azaleas are in full bloom at Government House, but along with photographers and flower lovers, tomorrow's open day could be filled with protesters, dragging along suitcases and daily goods. People upset with the influx of grey goods traders and mainland visitors are planning to make their voices heard. Today, the police expressed concern, saying no one has yet applied to hold a public event there. They warned potential protesters that no violent acts would be tolerated, but maintained confidence that they will have the situation under control.
For each and every public order event and police operation, we will go through a series of assessment, especially risk assessment. And so Please be rest assured that police tomorrow we will have sufficient manpower to handle any untoward incident.
Over in Tuen Mun, an area that was targeted by protesters earlier, a group rallied for peace today. Members gave out flyers that welcome mainland shoppers to spend money in Hong Kong and demanded the police enforce the law strictly against protesters who are causing chaos. The Equal Opportunities Commission has received a number of inquiries regarding insults hurled at mainlanders. Chairman Yok Chow said current laws don't cover discrimination against members of the same ethnic groups. He called on people to show civility.
We still need to respect that Hong Kong is a civil society. So I would like to appeal to people, also particularly people who initiate these actions, to review themselves.
He also urged the government to deal with the root cause of the conflict to prevent the situation from escalating further.
China sent fighter jets to its border with Myanmar following reports a Myanmar warplane dropped a bomb on Chinese territory, killing 4 people. Yesterday's incident came as the Myanmar government stepped up its fight against rebels in the country's Kokang region along the border. The bomb fell in a sugarcane field in Yunnan province. 9 other people were injured. A Chinese Air Force spokesman said several warplanes were sent to warn off Myanmar aircraft approaching the border. Beijing has summoned the Myanmar ambassador and lodged a diplomatic protest over the incident. Myanmar, for its part, has denied that any bomb from its forces had fallen in China. At least 33 people have been killed after a crowded double-decker ferry capsized in northwestern Myanmar. Officials say rescuers pulled 167 people from the sea and brought them to safety in Rakhine State. At least a dozen people are still missing. Boat accidents due to overcrowding and bad weather are common in Myanmar's river deltas and coastal regions. People rely on boat transport because of the lower cost and inaccessibility of many areas by road.
At least 8 people are dead after a powerful cyclone tore across the Pacific island nation of Vanuatu. As damage reports stream in, aid officials say Cyclone Pam could be one of the worst natural disasters the Pacific region has ever seen. James Aitken with the latest.
One aid worker says it felt like the world was going to end. Cyclone Pam caused sea surges of up to 8 meters and flooded much of the capital of Port Vila. The streets are littered with blown-off roofs, uprooted trees, and downed power lines. With communications knocked out in much of the region, it's difficult to assess the extent of the destruction. A UNICEF official says it looks like a bomb went off in the center of town. The Category 5 cyclone could be unprecedented in the history of the Pacific archipelago. Vanuatu has a population of more than 260,000 spread over 83 islands. A sudden change of course put populated areas directly in the path of Pam's 340 km/h winds. Entire villages were destroyed, and authorities say it could be weeks before the full impact of the devastation is known. In an ironic twist, the president of Vanuatu was attending a disaster risk reduction conference in Japan as the storm slammed into his country.
I'm speaking with you today with a heart that is so heavy. I do not really know what impact Cyclone Pam had left over Vanuatu.
With the country now facing the threat of hunger, disease, and a lack of clean water, the United Nations is preparing for what could be a long and sustained relief operation.
We are not yet clear on the impact and scope of the disaster, but we fear the destruction and damage could be widespread.
We also know that Tropical Cyclone Pam will impact on Tuvalu, Kiribati, Fiji, and Solomon Islands.
Cyclone Pam is comparable in strength to Typhoon Haiyan, which hit the Philippines in 2013 and killed more than 6,000 people. Vanuatu is among the world's poorest countries and prone to natural disasters. Officials say many evacuees could be homeless for weeks. The storm is forecast to pass north of New Zealand tomorrow. James Aitken, TVB News.
Iraq's defense minister says government forces are very close to taking full control of the strategic city of Tikrit. 20,000 troops, backed by Shiite militiamen, have been conducting a major offensive against Islamic State militants who seized the city last year. Alan Buckner reports.
Iraqi Defense Minister Khaled al-Obeidi made the statement while on a frontline visit to troops in the region. The Iraqi government released video of airstrikes against Islamic State in Tikrit. Government forces have taken back about half of the city, but are now pausing while they wait for reinforcements. Guerrilla tactics by Islamic State, such as snipers, bombs, and booby traps, have been frustrating the offensive. In the U.S., the director of the CIA expressed optimism that Islamic State will be wiped out eventually, but said it will take time.
ISIL is well armed and well financed. Its fighters are disciplined, committed, and battle hardened. Left unchecked, the group would pose a serious danger not only to Syria and Iraq, but to the wider region and beyond, including the threat of attacks in the homeland of the United States and the homelands of our partners. This will be a long-term struggle.
Meanwhile, in Turkey, a video was released purporting to show 3 British teenagers on their way to join Islamic State in Syria. The video shows a man the Turkish government claims to be a foreign intelligence operative. He tells the girls in English they'll be in Syria in 1 hour. The Turkish government wouldn't identify the man, seen here in custody, except to say he worked for a country that's part of the U.S.-led coalition fighting the militant group. And in New York, 3 men arrested last month in connection with a plot to travel to Syria to join Islamic State pleaded not guilty to terrorism-related charges. Federal officials said 2 of them had plane tickets to Turkey and intended to head to Syria. Court papers say they exchanged messages on how to get overseas and had videos of Islamic State training camps. Alan Buckner, TVB News.
Elsewhere in the region, Egypt has announced plans to build a new administrative capital east of Cairo within 7 years. Egyptian authorities say the new capital is planned to be the size of Singapore and will come with a $45 billion price tag. The city will include an airport, 90 square kilometers of solar power fields, government buildings, diplomatic missions and residential units. Egypt's housing minister calls the project a global city. It's part of a series of mega projects designed to attract foreign investment and create jobs in a country with a booming population of 90 million. The population of Greater Cairo is expected to double to 40 million within 40 years.
And still ahead in our news tonight. Worsening war of words over political reform. Pope Francis says his papacy could be a short one. And getting excited about the start of the Formula One season.
What is it about love that compels men to boldly go across time and space?
Kate! It's you I know.
You must really love this guy to do this.
We're talking about the kind of love between friends here. Sunday, fan call, Less is More presents Men in Black 3 on Pearl's Movie of the Month.
멋있는데?
Hong Kong is the place where everybody can share a great time together. Happy at Hong Kong.
What is it? I'm going to take a very literal stab in the dark and say, math?
The world's greatest numerical nightmare.
It can't be solved.
Becomes Sherlock Holmes' biggest problem.
Do you really think this guy was killed over math?
2 bodies.
We got a second victim.
3 suspects.
One mystery at a time, detective.
Taxi! Where are you going?
No proof.
Some conundrum.
Tuesday, Elementary, Season 2 at 10:40 on Pearl.